Hello everybody, and yes, I have this version of the trade paperback, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Origin of the Hobgoblin, and today I'm going to review it and talk about it. Very quick review. I would honestly give this a huge thumbs up, maybe even a 10 out of 10. Every issue in here is written by Roger Stern, who, looking at the overall Spider-Man content history, besides Stan Lee, but maybe my mind can be changed to say that Roger Stern is the greatest Spider-Man writer of all time. He wrote Spider-Man for 4 years, and he created the Hobgoblin with his plan in mind. He wrote, of course, other issues in the future, and I'll talk about that at the very end of this video. But yeah, this came out in 1995, I think, this trade paperback, and I have the version that only has 8 issues, quote-unquote only. And you have this amazing cover of Hobgoblin's creepy face. You see the Spider-Man eyes reflection in his in the villain eyes. Wow, this cover just jumps out. This has never been a variant cover. This is just for this trade paperback, and I love it. So glad I got this. Wow. This is his back, which I find kind of fun. It's his, his hood. Front witness in these pages, the birth of the Hobgoblin. The next phase of Spider-Man's psychopath, and it says the original he was made after the first 3 Green Goblins: Norman Osborn, Harry Osborn, and Bart Hamilton. It was $15, and it has the first 8 issues of the Hobgoblin's appearance. There's another trade paperback which has more issues, but anyway, look at this art. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the also different his pumpkin bombs. You can see all the riders and whatnot. Here's the intro. He just talks about how they want to make a Green Goblin for the 80s, and he decided to make a Hobgoblin with the color scheme. And he talks about the history of Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn, because Harry Osborn does have a role in the last 3 issues of this when it comes to Hobgoblin. This definitely is his origin. Most of it is him going around getting Norman Osborn's personal notes and files and becoming as strong as the original Green Goblin. Oh, 1992. I think this came out later. And here are the 8 issues. His first 2, Amazing Spider-Man 238 and 239, 244 and 245. Spectacular Spider-Man 85, which this was the first time I read Spectacular Spider-Man issue 85. Or it's the first time I read all of these issues, but I'm surprised I didn't read issue 85 yet, because I had the essential Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man 4 at the time. And of course, after that, Amazing Spider-Man 249 to 251. You can see here's the dates of them. Very nice. Kind of a short. This is only about 160. Yeah, exactly 160 pages, because there's that. The backs are all blank. There's no advertising any other comic collections. And here's how it starts off. So you'll have to know what it looks like. They just have the picture without the title on it. And it says Chapter 1, Chapter 8. And it starts off with Peter Parker. Oh my gosh, sorry for my thumb's getting in the way from my camera. Talking about his origin here. I think that's a great way to start off the Hobgoblin saga. And someone goes after some carjackers. He gets away. He alerts some mysterious guy who Roger Stern did have in mind who the Hobgoblin really was. If you read the other trade paperback, the characters in the first issue of that one, which is Spectacular Spider-Man 43. And that guy, deletes all evidence that he knows that this other guy knows that he's the Hobgoblin, or that he could be the Hobgoblin, but of course this guy is dead and he does become the Hobgoblin. What did I just say? Anyway, here's issue 239. He's attacking plants to get Norman Osborn's secrets, and Spider-Man finds him. In their first fight, Spider-Man really tires the Hobgoblin out, and it's only by luck, basically, that the Hobgoblin gets away. In the next issues, Hobgoblin is doing the exact same thing. He has somebody try chemicals to make himself as strong as the Green Goblin, but it backfires, and that guy's name is Lefty Donovan, and he becomes the Hobgoblin, or dresses up as the Hobgoblin, and fights Spider-Man. Spider-Man fights him, and I think Roger Stern's writing is very, very smart, because there's a lot of moments in the stories that are kind of one-off moments with characters and Spider-Man just kind of living in this silly Marvel world of, someone will walk into a room and Spider-Man's hidden on the ceiling, and the guy's like, what in the world just happened? So, And another smart thing is in the fight, Spider-Man stops Lefty Donovan Hobgoblin with his glider being crashed into a bunch of electrical circuits right here, or his pumpkin mom was thrown back at him, and the guy's sort of brainwashing melts off, and he's about to reveal who Hobgoblin really is, but Hobgoblin takes control of his glider remotely and crashes him into the side of a building, and he dies. And then we go to Chapter 5, issue 85, where Spider-Man and the Black Cat fight Hobgoblin right after he's gotten as strong as the Green Goblin. And yeah, this is right after the Black Cat, Spider-Man, Octopus War. Well, a few issues after that. But yeah, Hobgoblin gets away. Spider-Man almost defeats him, but I always find this crazy. Okay. And then the finale of this starts off in issue 249 to 251, chapters 6 and 8. Kingpin kind of saves Spider-Man's life. All these wealthy people are getting blackmailed by the Hobgoblin thanks to Norman Osborn's secret journals, and he does that to get money. And Kingpin is there as well. He sort of saves Spider-Man's life against Hobgoblin killing him. And the whole trick is they're trying to find out who Hobgoblin really is. Of course, Spider-Man does not figure it out by the end of the issue because, well, he disappears. Jameson reveals that he created the Scorpion. But I like Roger Stern's writing. He definitely has passion for the character of Spider-Man because he writes, well, he says it's about the Scorpion. What about all the Spider Slayers Jameson created? Why didn't he say anything about that? Trying to be all, selfless and noble and whatnot. Here's issue 250. I love that comic cover. I think everyone does. And they write a little, Roger Stern writes a lot of extra moments, which are really good. Like right here, this is why no one is going to talk about the Hobgoblin attacking them, because they would all get in big trouble if their stuff was looked into, because they're all a little dirty. Here's Hobgoblin's battle van he creates. It's a big deal in the future issues that come out after this, how it disappears. I like Spider-Man kind of standing up for Jameson, wanting Jameson not to reveal himself, but he does it anyway. So Spider-Man goes back to basics when it comes to following his Spider Tracer with his spider sense, and confronts Hobgoblin in his lair. Ginormous fight, huge explosions, and I also love that cover. The last time he wore the red suit before the symbiote. He fights, he cracks almost unbreakable glass, etc. All the strength he gets put into. They have a huge fight. The van goes into the river. Hobgoblin decides to keep fighting until the end. Spider-Man escapes. And that's how it ends. Of course, Hobgoblin is still around. He's my second favorite Spider-Man villain. And that is the origin of the Hobgoblin. I loved that they did the connections with Harry Osborn in the final 3 issues about him being blackmailing Harry Osborn, and Harry Osborn talking about how his father was the Green Goblin. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. This is in issue 85. They talk about how he and Liz Ellen is pregnant, and they're gonna have a kid. So yeah, it just gets better as you read on, I honestly would say. And that is what I got. There's a lot of history, some history told with going back to issues 39 and 40 with the Green Goblin. And of course, they also mention Mendel Stromm, who knew about the formula as well, but Norman Osborn assassinated in issue 38. So, and the Hobgoblin disappearing in his battle van were a really big deal for future stories, because right after this, 2 trade paperbacks come in, and I'll make a video about this someday. I keep saying that, still haven't yet. I'm sorry, it's the last page. Because right after this, these issues are shortened because it just talks about the Hobgoblin stuff. The ones that are really short are issues 85 and issue 251. This ends, and the next 3 issues have to deal with the tie-in to Secret Wars, where Spider-Man goes to Battle World thanks to the Beyonder, and he fights a bunch of villains with a bunch of heroes, and he gets the symbiote suit in Secret Wars issue 8. Right after this is issue 252, which is collected in the trade paperback Spider-Man Birth of Venom. I read that one first, so I was all built up on the Hobgoblin in issues 252 to 258, and that trade paperback, and all that, I'll talk about that some other time. So yeah, 10 out of 10. This is obviously ripped because I've had this for years, over a decade now. I read it so many times. Really good story. So with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a good one.